Welcome, you guys. So, I'm a conscious parent, and one of the biggest tests of faith I have had to, um, I've needed to overcome my fears is being able to learn how to be graceful while knowing that individuals who wish they could spiritually abuse me have been targeting my children spiritually. As a conscious parent, you are aware of your impact in the world and you're aware of how your interactions, create a psychological impact in your external environment. And, I'm aware that individuals who have went above and beyond to separate me from my children out of sheer envy and jealousy have been spiritually abusing my children. And this is where a lot of us as adults, we're having distrust with many, even older generations, because we were spiritually abused by people who were supposed to be guardians of us. So, as a conscious parent, you have a choice to, react negatively out of anger or to become solution oriented. And becoming solution oriented for me means, okay, let me do some shadow work. Let me get real knee deep in these shadows. Let me journal right now. And let me believe in something bigger than myself, because what I went through, if I'm still standing and I'm aware of how it's happening and I'm able to give back to others and share this information, then this means that I need to not underestimate or overestimate my children's abilities to overcome. And I'm going to send my love to my children and pray for them. That's all I can do sometimes. And literally that's all I can do. That's what I'm going to do. Because sometimes, when you become aware, especially as a conscious individual, even if you don't have parents, even if you don't have children, you become aware that as you're reparenting yourself, forgiveness is what's going to help you develop those solutions. So, this karma reading, what is their karma for spiritually abusing your children, is to help you get an understanding that the anger is valid. However, it is your responsibility how you react or respond. And reacting and responding in a negative way when anger is triggered, that's also not setting a good example for the children. So, I'll see you at your pile or piles of choice, and I hope that this information helps you to know that your children are safe. Welcome, beautiful Pile 1. Thank you for being present. So, we're blessed with the Sacred Geometry of Relationships Oracle deck, and this deck is powerful. Don't sleep on it. The cards we have are Integrity, Divine Masculine, and Soul. So, I feel as if your children were spiritually abused in the manner where a toxic masculine energy was trying to normalize their abuse that they were doing in the household, that they try to act as if it wasn't happening when they were in the public around other people. I'm picking up on a toxic masculine who in public around others, they like to come off as if they are someone that they're not. They like to come off as a people's person, you know. They are in a spirit of ass kissing, aka martyrdom. However, behind closed doors, their children have a truer awareness of who they are. So, this toxic masculine, abuse spirituality so that the children would think that the abuse they were being subjected to was normal, so that the children wouldn't abandon them. Well, the children will leave them, because the reality is that abuse is abuse. Abuse doesn't have to be where someone's putting their hands on you. Abuse can simply be, sometimes me force feeding someone wrong information, making it so you can't speak when you are trying to, you know, let your curiosity flow. This is a toxic masculine that likes to negatively interrupt a child's curiosity and imagination and force feed their spiritual beliefs onto a child. And this ends up attracting to their children other toxic masculines. Or this toxic masculine would try to out macho another toxic masculine. Only further they would just be, further confusing the child. You didn't want me to get with that toxic person, but you're being toxic and you're my dad. So this person could be a father we're speaking about. Um, but yeah, this is a toxic masculine who really doesn't want their children to leave them, as other people have willingly left them who are of age to know better. So they're simply spiritually abusing your children so that your children will not know any better and just think that the abuse is normal. However, their karma is their child will leave them and actually have an example of a healthy masculine who will help them heal that father wound that the toxic masculine is trying to prevent from being healed. Now let's cleanse the energy. Welcome, Pile 2. So it's an interesting energy. We got the Joker here. I feel as if this person who has been spiritually abusing your children is a joke. I feel as if all their efforts to appear serious are starting to become comical. We have the Joker, the Five of Hearts, and the Ace of Diamonds. So their karma for spiritually abusing your children is having unrealistic financial goals, okay? Their idea of being able to maintain finances, they feel this is poverty. They feel they need to have large lump sums of money all the time, whenever they want it, whenever they need it. So they're willing to put themselves in harm's way, dangerous positions around dangerous individuals just to have income coming in. Not realizing that a lot of individuals they don't actually have the skill sets to maintain consistent income. So they're willing to spend up all the money whenever they're emotionally triggered. This is why they feel they need a lot of money consistently. Having a lot of money helps them fill the void that it's obvious no one else can help them with, but they're willing to try it. Okay? This person likes to act as if what they're doing isn't happening. If you bring up something serious to them, they'll neglect and not acknowledge what you're saying. So that could be a trauma wound for your children. They may not be able to express how they feel at the moment sometimes when you speak to them because their concerns were ignored. So I would advise you to, encourage your children to be more vocal about what they want, because this person definitely spiritually abused them so that they wouldn't ask for things because they were so selfish to the point they wanted to make sure they had what they wanted, and they didn't want their children to have anything extra, but only because they felt they couldn't afford what they wanted plus what the children wanted. Okay? This can be exposed to how their parents who are not putting their children first. Okay? What they take for granted, what gives them consistent money, it's going to evolve and they're going to get left behind in it. So That's their karma for spiritually abusing your children. Also, this person lacks discipline, self-control, and self-discipline. So this is going to have them come face to face with the truth of how reckless they are when they don't have anyone to help them get out of a horrible situation. That's it. Welcome, Pile 3. So we have the Ten of Wands, supported by the Empress, and the Seven of Cups. So, one of the reasons these people are spiritually abusing your children is because they wanted to create grave distance in your family. They didn't want you to have a close relationship with your children. So if there was a custody battle, your children would be brainwashed to just go along with whatever narrative that they instilled in the child's head. So part of the spiritual abuse is psyche abuse, not allowing the children to think on their own, not allowing the children to learn healthy cognitive abilities. And they did a lot of work to hide this in public. But you know, as children get older, you can tell the parents that are abuse them by not letting them make their own decisions, by the children not being able to speak up for themselves, by the children feeling uncomfortable speaking up, and you can tell that they're afraid to, bring attention to red flags that children can obviously see, but they feel like if they say something, the adult will retaliate against them when they're isolated and they're not in public. However, these parents I'm picking up on, they're willing to make it look like I'm a provider. My child is everything they need. This is enough. Literally, these people have a lot of things, so people will not pay attention to the body language of their children. The body language of their children shows what kind of, mental processes they're being witnessed to. They're witnessing that their parents are showing. Okay? And a lot of us as children, we have shame and guilt, feeling as if we're responsible for how these parents are going about things. So these people are going to be under heavy fire. These people have been spiritually abusing your children, hoping your children will view you as they view themselves. They've been projecting their things, their insecurities about themselves onto you. And this is with the Ten of Wands, this is causing a lot of hardship for them. The Ten of Wands is showing up as something that is like they're now trudging along, hoping that they can get from under the line of fire, because these people had hoped that if, they wanted to basically break you and your children up. And they wanted your children to just outright, say, I don't want anything to do with you. And they didn't care if your children had unhealed abandonment issues and never got the truth about it. So your children will be free from this, and you will be protected from all negative gossip as well. Okay? But these people, they're going to have to face the severe consequences of gossip plus spiritually abusing your children. And it's going to be it's going to take a while to pay off this kind of karma. Ten of Wands is heavy karma. And they're going to have to endure. That's it.